This morning, the first thing, when he went to leave, the bus wouldn't air up. So the first thing I diagnosed on that was that make sure the air compressor was working, so it wasn't the unloader or anything, and there was pressure coming out of the compressor. Climbed under there, the brake relay valve in the back was just pumping out massive amounts of air through the exhaust port on it. So we got under there, pulled that apart. It turns out a spring had rusted and broken, and it had locked it, kind of wedged in the open position, so that it was just exhausting air from the brake valve. We went into town, located one, and then thought he was good to go. We got that new part on. It was kind of a Hail Mary to find that part. Got them all back together, went to leave, and heard an air leak. And I'm like, wait a minute, we just checked the entire air system. It was holding air, built up air pressure fine, stepped on the treadle, held air, everything was great. Taking apart this brake relay valve to see if we can figure out what's going on. Go ahead, let's clean it up a little bit. Is that that's not a chunk of something important, or is that just a?
It's an O-ring.
It's an O-ring. Yep.
I think
that's what it looks like. I was hoping it wasn't. Yeah, it's an O-ring.
Yeah.
The spring on here is actually broken and wrapped around itself there.
But there's another piece of it. It's gonna be a way to go, man.
Well, that's cheaper than an engine rebuild.
No, I down there.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't look like that when we started that one.
What the hell's he gonna pull it with?
All right, so we ran over to Gilbert Welding here. We had fun over there, and they had this sitting on the shelf. Didn't know that they had it, but they had it there. Pretty impressive. We went to try to get the spring, and had fun over there talking with them. They're working on changing that motorhome into a trailer for a customer. That was awesome. They're doing an Airstream into a food truck in there for somebody, and yeah, lots of cool stuff. So, and anything machine shop wise, welding wise, metalwork wise, that's the place to go. So we had fun over there hanging out with John. Okay, go ahead. Release the parking brake. Step on the brake and hold it down. Release. Reapply the parking brake. Good to go. So this little Skinner valve back here on the bulkhead, it's above the muffler, behind the engine, between the engine and transmission and that bulkhead. That Skinner valve, when if you step on the brakes, there's no air leaks whatsoever. But if you step on the brakes with the key on, then air shoots out of the one on the left there, coming through the Skinner valve. So we don't know what that goes for or what it's doing, but if we unplug the Amphenol for it, then there's no air leak. So something where that Skinner valve goes to with the air brakes leaks, but only if that Skinner valve is activated. Okay, so we're holding good air pressure. Step on the brake pedal and hold air pressure. Before we were having a problem where we couldn't hold air. If we had the key on, it would leak air massively if the brake was depressed. And the parking brake is going on and off and releasing now. So whatever that little Skinner valve in the back on the wall had something to do with the brake system, but it shouldn't. Well, we traced down that Skinner valve was actually getting its signal from the brake light. Whenever the brake light would activate, it would open that Skinner valve and dump a massive amount of air. So it would only lose air if the power was on, and then you stepped on the brake pedal. You let go of the brake pedal, and there was no air leak. You held the brake down with the key off, it was fine. You turned the key to on, which then allowed the brake light to work, and then it dumped air. So it was crazy, but we got it worked out. He had working brake lights, working brakes, good to go. There it is. The first oil dry on the pad, the super clean floor absorbent. It did pretty good. I'm just gonna let it sit there and soak up some more.
See him loading up his tools, check the air and all those duels. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Well, he's got a long hard ride in old Lenny the Silver Sides. Get that bus grease monkey on the road. Well, he's got that hammer down and that 47 Hound. It's that bus grease monkey on the road. He travels all around and he's coming to your town. Get that bus grease monkey down the road. See that 4104 with the propped up engine door. Watch that bus grease monkey do his thing. 30 years behind that barn, cause it don't run worth a darn. Watch that bus grease monkey make it sing. He knows them Detroits, there's no doubt, upside down and inside out. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Saving buses far and wide in that old blue Silver Sides. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Now he's moved his family to the hills of Tennessee. Watch that bus grease monkey make his home, bringing buses back to life with the help of his dear wife. Watch that bus grease monkey get it done. Well, he travels town to town working on them old greyhounds. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Saving buses far and wide in old Lenny the Silver Sides. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know?